This is going to be one great topic, right up until we fetch up the end of her.
This is United Aholes, a video cast discussing cultural topics with no filter.
Welcome back to Area 41, Peter Dushman's favorite spot on the internet. We have a special guest tonight, Mr. John Morris, aka Momo. And Momo, you own a website. A website that's spawned now a whole bunch of stuff. There's a greenhouse business, I do believe, and there was a music festival in Woodstock named after it. Beer. Yeah, there's a beer by Picaroons named after it. So it's Dooryard.ca. Yeah. What is Dooryard.ca?
Dooryard.ca is a website that I created out of a fit of homesickness and professional need around the turn of the century. I'd been my wife and I had been living in the States, working with McCain for about 6 to 8 years. And I was there long enough, the initial sort of like, I don't have an accent, you do thing, it's sort of worn off. And I kept on kind of remembering the strange and sometimes crazy reactions to my, oddball phrases that I would come out with, not even thinking that they were strange, and saying, okay, well, maybe there's something here, and I decided to kind of start writing it down. And literally, that's all I was doing. And again, I say, part of it was a connection to home. It's the first time Nanette and I had moved to a different country. And also, it was my first. I decided to, kind of do it as a website. I was just getting into HTML, and it was a way to kind of, practice how to do some of those things. And one thing led to another, and I guess the comedy device that I came up with, which was, make it sound like a very legitimate sounding, dictionary definition. I didn't know it was going to be funny, but it ended up being funny. I didn't intend it to be that, but it did. And it kind of just went from there.
So you might say you took a whack at it.
I did take a whack at it. Took a great big whack at it.
Jeez and crow.
There's no shortage of material in my brain. And not only that, it was a lot of people that I was working with were also kind of expats, that had come from Canada, from northern Maine, that was working in the same area that I was. So we were kind of this audible minority in the office, right? So it caught on,
Sweet. So you've had the site since 2000 something?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been like
2000, holy old bald-headed.
I know.
Holy
old lifting bald-headed, Jesus.
Where'd you learn that word, though? Library? Sorry, not to keep stealing your words, Ryan.
No, that's exactly what's up.
I'll tell you what, though, the accuracy is a little scary sometimes. Because I've read words and been like, that's not the actual word. Like, that's not, I remember in elementary school asking a teacher how to spell putineer. And she's like, well, it's 2 words, Josh.
Lunch bucket is a Dooryard term?
Lunch bucket?
Yeah.
Oh, like bringing your lunch bucket to work?
If you go anywhere else on the planet and say lunch bucket, you're going to get a blank and polite stare.
Wow.
That's a best case scenario.
I did not know that one.
Yeah, it's a lunch pail, or it's, your lunch box, or those sorts of things.
But lunch bucket was a thing only of here.
Well, you need a lunch bucket for your bumbles.
But every time that we would say a word and get these like stupid looks is when I knew I had to write something down. And it wasn't just me, it was, my wife as well. And at one time she was at work, and I think she was trying to put her hair up, and her thingy broke, and said to her friend, you have an elastic. I said, a what? An elastic.
Seriously? Elastic?
Right. And so then she had to describe, what she was talking about. And her friend said, oh, you mean a rubber band? And I goes, yeah, a rubber band. So she gives her a rubber band. She goes, you realize elastic is a property.
Gee.
I suppose, but, like anyone back home would have known what that meant. Right?
It's kind of like the Kleenex Ski-Doo.
Well,
that's what I was going to think.
Flush. Everywhere else in the world's toilet. Right? Here it's flush. And there's little simple things like that you would just
You don't even
catch up
think
on.
about.
Right, you don't even think about it until you go away and then, you hear it.
We had customers that moved here from England, and all 3 girls are in school, and their mother said, "You guys need to understand, when you're looking to make a correction, you're looking for an eraser," because they call them rubbers.
They call them rubbers.
She didn't want her daughters going, "You
Got a rubber.
You got a rubber?"
Yeah.
Wait a minute. one of my kids' friends, when they first moved here, came to the house and she cut her finger on something outside and come in and asked for a plaster. And I was like, what? Like a plaster. And I was like, what the hell is a plaster? And she described a Band-Aid, which is actually a bandage.
Yeah.
But again, it's that whole where you're from and how things are said. It's everyone has them.
But to be fair, he was 12 deep into a 2-4 at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Put her in the willy wags.
Fist cut right in the willy wags. So have you ever got any statistics of how many views that gets average? I suppose it's died off over the last few years.
What the funny thing is
Perfect.
it
Now
really
we know
kind
this
of
stuff.
hasn't. I mean, any time that I even think to look at the analytics, these days, and we've done nothing. I mean, literally, the thing is still, running PHP and real audio, is to say, not.
Didn't we
running
just
it.
do an episode about that?
I mean, we haven't done a single thing to it, and we're averaging around 20,000 views a week. Now, how much? But how much of that is search engines and all that kind of stuff. But it's been consistent, and I still get requests all the time. I should say all the time.
To AdWords?
Maybe 3 or 4 times a year, someone asking for permission to publish it for whatever purpose, whether it's in a paper or some other kind of, and I said, just give the site credit and off you go, right? Wow. So that's been consistent. So it's lived on that way. And part of me, when we talk about, what's the future of it, is like, I just kind of want to leave it alone and, it is what it is, right? And let it be, it's almost
as opposed to continuing to
artifact.
do anything, just let it exist.
Yeah. It's like a time capsule now, so.
You find any good ones there, Ryan?
Oh, just gold.
I've got one. I'm just waiting for the right joke.
Is it a faint heart never fucked a pig?
I've only ever heard that here.
I think I need to.
Ken,
write
you
my own
must be right
dictionary.
out of her. Also, we found the correct spelling of putineer.
It's in there. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's a fun read. I remember going through it back in the day.
Rubbers.
Yeah, rubbers. Oh no, there's a gum rubbers.
There you go. I can just download every page and just do it
On
offline.
Pirate Bay.
I can just pirate.
Fucking
Yeah, there's not a lot of spaghetti code in there. It hadn't been invented yet.
But he's not making any money.
Same difference.
Anyway,
Same difference.
But I don't accept it. Same
Well done. Well done. So I'm guessing that I'm going to have to edit in a screen cap of every one of these that we
Yeah, is this
You got a lot of work on
Thanks. This gonna come out Monday or Tuesday?
Monday or Tuesday.
It may be Seardy. Seardy.
Friday. Well, I probably should put a shout out to Peter Dushman, which you mentioned when we started the segment there, that I wrote the content, but he did the design. So the way that it looks, and even
Which is the old Rolodex.
the whole concept of the whole book layout, and he's an amazing graphical designer, right? Graphic artist, and the look and the feel of it is all part of the experience as well too.
Yeah.
Where's he these days?
He's been in Ontario for a number of years. He's in Kingston now.
Are you still friends? Do you still talk?
We sure do.
communicate?
We sure do. Yeah, he's a good friend. Yeah, he's hilarious too, and of at least 50% of what it is. Yeah, I'm not taking full credit for it, but it's my senior
You're not
editor
gonna?
as well.
So you're not like Stan Lee.
Not gonna.
Skizzle it out of him.
Not gonna.
Skizzle it out of him.
I've never heard that.
I'm not gonna cabbage it.
I've heard cabbage a lot.
How many words are actually?
144.
Wow.
A gross.
Oh, gross. There you go. That's right.
Yeah, that's another reason why I really don't want to add to it. But
Okay, so it was created and then
basically put up, and there it is.
So,
Put up or shut up.
Dooryard Arts Festival is named Dooryard Arts Festival. Is that mostly coincidental? Is that just parallel thinking of, oh, this is an interesting thing? Or were you kind of a consultant in a way?
They
All I
call
can
you
say-
and say,
Yeah, exactly. All I can say is at least in the case of the beer and in the case of the festival, I was asked, "Is it okay to use the name?"
Yeah.
And in both cases, I said,
Yeah,
"Why not?"
That's cool.
I mean, I
though,
don't
that they would
own
do
it,
that.
right? I don't own it.
What about that asshole that started the greenhouse business though?
Oh,
Named
man.
Dooryard.
Oh, Dooryard.com. Well, he's in New Jersey, so
No, the greenhouse up in Florenceville.
Is he buried in Giant Stadium with Jimmy Hoffa?
I'm not sure.
Someone started a greenhouse in Florenceville.
There's a
called
Dooryard greenhouse. up
Son of a whore, are you serious?
Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm getting it now. He's talking about me.
You stole your own goddamn name.
Well, I mean,
You
fuck, if
cabbaged
you're going
it.
to steal something, you might as well steal your own stuff. I mean, you're not going to get in trouble. So,
Right.
Yeah. Yes, I named my own business after it too.
I heard that one so many times when I was a kid. Ooh. Jesus, Jerry, you're out in the willy like that motherfucker.
Some of them I see written, and I just look at the wrong. What the fuck is this? And then I read it and go, oh, yeah, I say that. I've never seen it written.
The one that took me the longest time to wrap my head around until I read the description of it way back when you first sent me the site was Bodega. And I was like, what the hell is that? And all of a sudden, Bodega break. And I was like, oh my God! I'm gonna work on Father's Farm on Bodega break.
Yeah.
You should put that on Rosetta Stone.
Is Fredericton in there?
Fredericton.
Fredericton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look that one
yeah,
up. Yeah.
Fredericton.
You see Fredericton. I think that's where it's in there.
Fredericton.
Or Fredericton, which is the
Fredericton.
alternate.
Fredericton?
Fredericton.
That's when you're saying it really fast.
That's like a snack, like a wheat snack. Or something like
It sounds like
Time for a Fredericton. break.
Fredericton.
yeah, going Fredericton.
Cheese flavored Fredericton.
Ryan and I are going to Fredericton tomorrow.
All right, so just go to a random one, read it, and we'll get out of here.
Toronto. Capital city of Ontario. Toronto.
My
It's
favorite
like
one.
Detroit.
Look up Chicago. That's a good one on there. Well, it's not spelled Chicago.
Chicago.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Chicago. I've heard that one
Chicago.
so many times.
Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, I was thinking like Chicago Fast or something.
Chicago.
Detroit.
That's the other.
They're all so good. Look, if you guys got time, go to Dooryard.ca and just read. It will cook an afternoon for you, and you'll have a
Go
lot
there
of
See how
Go
much
there
of a
for
genius
something
this
different.
man is.
something different.
Different.
Would you be interested in helping me with my dictionary?
Sure.
Read on your veranda. You know, if you're just dog wetting it some afternoon.